The Anonymous Benefactor. With a Cadillac, a maid, and a gardener, my family always had a Christmas with the best gifts from Santa's sleigh. My anticipation of opening gifts on Christmas Day was boundless, for I knew my mother was an uncontrolled shopper when it came to my whims. After opening one gift after another, I toted my new acquisitions up and down the street so all the neighbors would know that Santa loved me best and that my parents were spoiling me to complete satisfaction. From such a worldly background of material prosperity, it seemed only natural for me to fantasize that when I had children of my own, the established tradition of wealth and abundant giving at Christmas would continue. If that had been the case, I would not have had one memorable Christmas, just more of the same. It was in 1977 that my Christmas took a strange twist. Circumstances had changed. I was no longer the little girl awaiting the parental handout, but was an adult attempting to make my own way in life. I was a graduate student in 1977, completing a doctoral degree and raising 3 small sons alone. Like several other graduate students, I had obtained university employment as a research writer for a professor, and like most of the students, I was struggling to meet my financial obligations. 5 days before Christmas, I realized that my mismanagement of funds would prevent much gift buying of any kind. It seemed unbearable to me. Cuddling my sons, I reluctantly explained my abhorrence of debt and the specter for our economic plight. My emotions surfaced as the children attempted to comfort me by nodding assuredly. "Don't worry, Santa Claus will give us gifts." Cautiously, I explained, "I think Santa Claus is also having a bad year." With certainty, my firstborn son, Brian, announced, "But on television his sleigh is still filled with toys. With 5 days left till Christmas, he'll have plenty for us." His younger brother, Todd, interjected, "Besides, Santa won't forget us. We've been good this year." As all 3 nodded in agreement, I did too. My sons had been good. They'd found happiness and friendship in our family. We all were unusually close. Perhaps it was our circumstance. Yet, despite their goodness, they would soon be disappointed because neither Santa nor Mother would bring the desired presents on Christmas Day. That night I cried and pled with the Lord for relief, for a glimmer of hope that Christmas in our home would be better than I anticipated. My verbal prayers awakened the children. They seemed to intuitively know what was causing my unhappiness. "Don't worry about presents, it doesn't matter," said Brian. I knew it didn't matter on December 20th, but I knew it would be all important on December 25th. The next morning I could not hide my despair and self-pity that had marred my face through the night. "What is wrong?" I was asked again and again at the university. My trite reply was, "Oh, nothing." Arriving home, I methodically pulled the mail from the mailbox as I entered the house. A curious, unstamped envelope caught my attention. "To a very, 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 very special lady," was typewritten on the envelope. I gazed at the envelope and wondered if it were meant for me. Hoping it was, I tore it open. To my surprise, I found several dollars inside, but not a note of explanation. "Come quickly," I beckoned the children. Together we counted the money, examined the envelope, and expressed wonder at the anonymous gift. This was a direct answer to my prayer. There was enough money in the envelope to buy an extra gift for each child. I was stunned and amazed, and my joy and excitement of Christmas had returned. It was going to be a great Christmas Day after all. It wouldn't be as lavish as those of my childhood, but it would be enough. I was curious, where had the money come from? Could it be from a neighbor, a friend, classmate, church leader? Logical deduction led me to first our near neighbors. As I attempted to thank them, each stammered and then confessed, "It wasn't me." Asking friends and classmates rendered similar comments. It must be the bishop, I decided. He denied being our benefactor, however, and assured us that he did not know who had been so kind. Curiosity mounted as nightfall approached. I read the envelope again. "To a very, 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 very special lady." And this time I noticed that the E and L were misshapen letters produced by an old typewriter ribbon. I also observed that each dollar bill had been folded and unfolded many times, as if each had been of infinite worth. My desire to uncover the identity of the anonymous donor grew. Soon that desire was coupled with a gnawing resolve to return the money. The misshapen letters and folded bills evidenced that the generous donor also had financial difficulties. Well, I couldn't sleep that night. Again and again I asked myself, who was it? I had the clues of the old typewriter ribbon and the folded money, but not the answer. I can't really describe how I finally knew who the benefactor was, but about 2 o'clock in the morning, I knew. I knew who had a broken typewriter and who needed to replace the ribbon and who carefully folded and unfolded money, checking each dollar bill. It was my 3 sons. With tears of love, I awoke the donors. Bleary-eyed, they asked, "What's wrong?" I replied, "Nothing's wrong. Everything is right. You gave me the money. You gave me all the money you possess." Opening the bedroom closet door, I pulled out 3 empty jars that once had contained their treasured fortune. They sat silent for several moments until my 9-year-old Brian turned to his younger brother Todd and punched him. "You told!" he exclaimed. Attempting to fend off further blows, Todd yelled, "It wasn't me. It must have been John." Their 5-year-old brother immediately said, "It wasn't me," as both boys landed on him. In unison, they asked, "How did you know?" I had searched outside my home for the answer, but the answer was within. I had seen generosity in all those around me, but had failed to recognize the generous hearts of my children. And now I more clearly knew why the Savior had said, "Suffer the little children to come unto me, and forbid them not, for of such is the kingdom of heaven." My house, with all of its material flaws, was my heaven on earth, and my sons were my greatest treasure. Christmas 1977 was indeed a Merry Christmas worth remembering. Susan Easton Black.